Hello everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is a beautiful, sunny and cloudy day here in Toronto, and today I am holding an informational session, an info session about our emotional cleanup. And this is a really, really special thing that I'm holding between now and Mother's Day. We've got a special going on, and it's not just for mothers. It is absolutely perfect for mothers, but anyone can jump on board and get involved. So stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you exactly what this emotional cleanup is, why it is such a transformative experience, what you can expect from this process, and how you can apply for either yourself or another person in your life if that's something that you'd like to do, or if it's something you'd like to gift. So for those of you that don't know me yet, I'm Larissa McCook. I'm an author, trainer, and results coach, and I lead highly successful, motivated women through mental barriers and into unstoppable confidence, authenticity, and empowered lives. So I want to know who you are. I want to know where you're coming in from. So let me know where you're coming in from in the chat. And also, if you're tuning in by replay, type in #replay so we know that you are joining us as well. So if you are successful in your work and you might feel like something might be holding you back, if you're diving into the world of entrepreneurship and starting a new venture, or you're a mother that just wants to create a beautiful life for herself or your family, you are in the right place, because what I want to really share with you is so special. I think when it comes to emotional cleanup, we often think of emotions as, I know with women, I used to think that women get so emotional, and I know growing up, my emotions, they were on the less positive side of the equation. And as I've learned a lot of new skills and tools, that has since changed. I spend a lot more time on the good side of the equation. I start to tap into those emotions of joy, happiness, gratitude, love on a daily basis. And that just was not the case. And I think as women, sometimes we can get very easily emotional. And I used to think that when we got emotional had to mean something really negative. And the more and more I started to learn about the mind and how it works, and prosperity and consciousness thinking, I started to really realize the beauty of emotions that women had. Like women, men too, but women, we really tend to express a wide variety of emotions. And when we can really start getting even more emotional about the things that are beautiful in our life and wonderful in our life and grateful in our life, then we can really harness the true power and the true essence of who we are and who we are meant to be in this world. And when it comes to the emotional cleanup package, I wanted to do this. I wanted to put something together that's really, really special that can help celebrate women, because women and mothers, they are overworked. They are running from one person to another. They are always serving so many other people. And it's so important, especially at this time, for us to put ourselves first. And this is such a transformative process, this emotional cleanup process, because ultimately 3 things are required for any kind of lasting change to take place. And I spoke about this in our Lunch and Learn last week. But the 3 things are, you've got to clear whatever is holding you where you are or just keeping you stuck. And often we can't identify that on our own. we think we can, we really can't. You've got to take action, and then you've got to really focus on what you want. And many of us know how to take action. A lot of us try to focus on what we want, and it doesn't often work. Okay, it doesn't really work. And why is that? Why do we try to focus and it doesn't work? Well, it's because we don't do the clearing first. Step number 1 is you've got to clear it. And that's exactly why this emotional cleanup process works so quickly. It works very, very fast. It's very, very effective. And it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. It's kind of like spring cleaning, but instead of for your house, it's for your closets. If you don't clean it out on a regular and periodic basis, then you're going to collect dust. Like if we don't dust our house on a regular basis, the dust starts to accumulate. And so I really like having my furniture dusted. I really like having my fireplace dusted. I really like having the tops of the cabinets dusted, because it clears the air. It allows us to breathe in fresher air. And it's the same thing with our emotions. Now, our when you go through a process like the emotional cleanup, our emotions, they do hold a lot of power over us, and they drive most of our behavior. And when we really let our emotions drive our behavior, if we're doing it unconsciously and reacting instead of being more aware and fully present about the emotions that we're experiencing and the hold it has, then we're going to be reacting instead of responding. We are deliberate creators. So you can be a deliberate creator of your reality. That's a term that I've heard Abraham Hicks use time and time again, or Esther Hicks. And I love that term. You can become a deliberate creator of your own reality, and you should be. And so this is really about living life on purpose, and not by default, but by design. And when your emotions are just all over the place, you don't have the ability to do that. In the emotional cleanup, we're going to release negative emotions. And these are the ones that sometimes drive our behavior in the other way. So we're actually going to release negative emotions of anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, rage, and shame. And these are some of the most negative emotions we can feel. Okay. And we all are humans, and we're supposed to feel these emotions. We're supposed to feel these negative emotions. However, we don't want to live with these negative emotions when they're unwarranted and unnecessary, because they create other baggage in our lives. And it's almost like carrying extra bricks in a backpack that don't need to be there. You don't need to take everything with you everywhere you go. You can leave some of it at home. You can let go of some of those bricks and maybe put them on someone else's house where they will actually serve them. Let go of that energy. And when you release these negative emotions, you're going to free yourself emotionally to be able to invite the good that you desire in. We are going to actually free limiting decisions that you've made, sometimes most of them unconsciously, that are actually blocking you from achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. And we make a lot of these decisions before we're even actually aware. We make so many decisions before we're even consciously aware of the fact that we've made these decisions. Like I was listening to a woman. I was actually in a training with a woman this morning, and she was talking about an experience she had when she was 3 years old, and she remembered one piece of this experience, and it was actually about her grandmother's funeral. And she remembered like this one little tiny piece of the experience, but the impact that it had in her life moving forward was absolutely phenomenal. Okay. It's many years later. She's got a family, her kids are teenagers, and she is still feeling the impact of that event at 3. Okay. So this is part of a conscious awareness that she's been able to make through other work. And sometimes we aren't even aware of these things and when they happen and how they happen. So we want to really let go of negative emotions that we're carrying around with us, and limiting decisions that are blocking us from achieving success, from having the relationships we have, from really living the life that we want to live. And we sometimes even have conflicts, right? We have internal conflicts. And when we have internal conflicts where part of us wants something and part of us wants something else, you're split in two ways, and you can't actually focus. You can't look at two things at once, especially when they're on opposite sides. So what we need to do is we really need to integrate those conflicts so that all the parts, all these separate random parts in your life, become one whole. And we do all these changes and we do all this type of work at the unconscious level so that the changes are permanent. And with the tools that I'm going to share with you in this emotional cleanup that are going to be used, the work is very, very fast. You've got to clear it so that you can free yourself to create that compelling future for you. That one that's full of confidence, one that's full of clarity, one that's full of calm, where you can put the juice and joy just back into your life. And when you do this and you find that juice, you find that joy, you can install it into every cell of your body. You can install those true desires that you do have, whether it's to release weight, to reduce stress or anxiety. Maybe it's to better your health. Maybe it's to improve or strengthen your relationship with your partner and your friends and your family, or even set you up for a thriving career and just get you to stop getting in your own way. So you need to put yourself first. Ultimately, like it's all about you taking the time to put yourself first so you can free yourself to be the best, to show up for your family and for your life and really feel free from the inside out. So if this is resonating, let me know. Let me know if this is resonating. And if you guys do have any questions, this is an information session. I want to get you any information that you need and answer any questions that you might have. Okay. And so one of the things that I experience in the work I do is I often talk to a lot of people who are having trouble with consistency. They take action and they stop themselves in their track and keep sabotaging themselves for years or decades. Or some people, maybe they've been going to therapy for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years or more, and they're not making progress. So like, I've been doing it, I kind of feel like I'm moving a little further. We're getting close to the root, but it's not working. And they're struggling and they want to find a solution, and they've tried it and they want to change. So a process like this can be completely transformative because you can take responsibility for the situation, not blame yourself, but really take that responsibility so you can actually let it go so much faster than anything you've done before. I know I've worked with clients that have had extremely destructive relationships from trauma in their past, in their youth. And instead of continuing on with another bad relationship and another bad relationship and another bad relationship, you can stop blaming the past and you can let go of that and move forward into the future with a clean slate. There's a few people I've worked with where they've had challenges with their business. They're like, I'm a leader and I don't feel like a leader. I feel like a fraud and I'm intimidated and I intimidate others. Well, these kinds of things, they stemmed from youth, right? And a few other people, or one other person, I actually worked with a gentleman who had angry outbursts at work. And it was stemming from a silly occurrence that had happened in childhood and him not even knowing how to manage his emotions. And you never know where these things stem from, and you can't actually consciously identify them. So that's why we have conversations with people like me and go through processes like the emotional cleanup. So you can actually let it go. You tell your story one time, and then you let it go for good. Let it go for good. So give me a thumbs up or a hearts if this is resonating with you and if you like that. Okay. So ultimately, your unconscious mind is so much more powerful than your conscious mind. And I just want to put it into perspective when I say you can't identify this stuff just on your own. You ingest 12 million bits of information per second. It was less a few years ago, but still a lot. That's a lot of information per second that you bring into your world, and it goes into your mind. It gets stored in your neurology, in your brain. And your brain goes through all these processes. Your mind goes through all these processes and filters the information and distills it down to 138 bits of information per second. That's what's in your conscious awareness. The rest of this has been reorganized, stored, moved around in your programming so that you can actually not spontaneously combust with all this information being thrown at you, so you can actually do something with it. And you can process it in chunk sizes of up to 7. Okay, so you go from 12 million to 138 in a second. And this happens over and over again. And so everything someone has said to you, everything someone has ever done in front of you, every experience you've ever had has gone into your neurology and stays there. And sometimes when we're younger, or when we have so many pieces of information going there, we make up stories because we don't know any better. And these stories, they stay with us, they stay in our world until we either choose to do something with them, or until they just keep making us so frustrated that we don't know what to do with them. Okay. And so that's essentially what this emotional cleanup process is we go in together. We work side by side and reorganize this. Now, the emotional cleanup process is not a one-size-fits-all approach. It's really highly specific to the person, and it's an integrated system that we follow. And this system was developed by Todd James, and he's an NLP and hypnosis trainer of master trainers all over the world. He was brilliant and a true pioneer in his field. And he's actually just recently passed away. And he's created a process whereby we actually integrate 4 specific modalities to get better and faster results. Okay. So I just want to really touch on each of these experiences or each of these modalities. So the first one is NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So that's a technique developed by Richard Bandler and John Grinder in the 1960s. And it really became widespread in the 70s. And people like Tony Robbins use a lot of this work in their programming and even in some of his coaching. And so this world of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, is considered to be the studying and modeling of excellence. And it's done through speaking directly to the brain. We use really specific language patterns so that you can actually create changes to your internal wiring, to your internal programming very, very quickly. It's literally like changing the apps on your phone. Okay. And so we teach you how this works, and then we go through processes with you and help you allow your unconscious mind to work, because your unconscious mind is actually the coach in this process. And these processes can be very, very fast because your unconscious mind, it's like the speed of light. It just works faster than you can consciously process. Okay. So NLP is beautiful in that regard. Timeline therapy is another technique. This was actually created by Tad James. And this is the fastest way that I've found, and so many other people have found, to do this emotional clearing work, a big part of the emotional clearing work. And what's really unique about it is that you don't need to relive past trauma to do this. So a lot of emotional clearing work, you actually have to go find the trauma. You have to go relive the trauma. You have to cry your face off and feel really quite awful. And go through all of these emotional processes. And while there's a time and place for it in certain cases, often reliving your trauma, especially when you do it again and again and again, isn't going to help you release it. And so what we do is we are able to help you release the trauma through certain learnings that you obtain without having to relive it. And I think that's one of the most powerful things about this. And it's used worldwide. And you can do it just to feel better on the inside. You can do it to become better in business and help with relationships and any negative associations you have with that. And it's also used in cases to help clear phobias, to help clear the symptoms of phobias, and even PTSD. And it is so, so, so powerful when it comes to this. And it just works time and time again and again. Another really, really fast technique. Okay, so that the full process takes 1 hour to 2 hours, just depending on what we're doing and who we're working with. Hypnotherapy is another modality that we incorporate. And this has been around for hundreds of years. And it's basically where you get guided into trance and speak directly to the unconscious mind. So you have a conscious mind, you have an unconscious mind. And what we do is we remove the barrier between the two. And so contrary to popular belief, you're not going to cluck like a chicken or do anything you wouldn't normally do under a real actual waking state, unless you would really do it under a waking state. So some people think stage shows are a real representation of hypnosis. No, we just take really animated people who like to show off and invite them to do silly things they would do just to get attention regularly. So in a hypnotic session, it is us working together, helping you install suggestions that you actually want and that will benefit you. It's going to be completely safe, and it gets so powerful because it goes right into the unconscious mind. So we remove the conscious barrier. And then another modality is Nlp Results Coaching. And this is really based on coaching models that are used to help build neurology through specific exercises, through specific tasking after the sessions are complete. Often, sometimes we'll integrate it as part of the session, but this is the real final part that's required for permanent change to actually stick. So there's 2 levels of this process. There's the full transformational breakthrough and emotion, and then there's an emotional cleanup. So a full breakthrough is when you have like really, really, really big problems or things that you've been working on for a long time and you're just sick of them and nothing you have tried is working. So maybe you want to stop smoking, release weight, you want to earn more money, have a thriving business, and you've really actively worked on things and you keep coming back over and over and over again. And so this is a process that people often come to at the end of the road. And so just depending on the severity of it, we may want to go into more depth and do a full breakthrough process. Okay. Now, for most people, emotional cleanups are really, really a beautiful thing and sufficient to do on a reoccurring basis. So it's kind of like seasonal housekeeping or getting your oil changed. It keeps you in good check and in good order and allows you to move forward in your life with less resistance and way more ease. And so problems come up, like life comes up, and it really helps to clear that emotional closet so you can manage them. So things will come at you and you don't react and freak out when something happens. You're just like, oh, well, I probably would have cried 2 weeks ago, but right now I feel okay. Like that wasn't very nice. And it wasn't my responsibility. So it really helps you level up the emotions. It helps you make better decisions. It helps you put yourself in a stronger state moving forward. And a lot of things that you find where you would have had that negative emotional pull no longer have that negative emotional pull. So yes, Maya's like, yes, less resistance and more ease. And Kelsey's also had a really transformative experience with this as well recently. So she's great at floating, and she's like, yes, give me more, give me more. So I just want to really quickly go through what you can actually expect in the process. So it's a customized approach, like I said. So we actually need to have a conversation before you do this to make sure it is a good fit. I know everyone needs it. Not everyone is a good fit for me. Sometimes it might be a better fit for me to refer out to someone else. I also have a team and people I do work with. So the first step is actually having a conversation before we even book a first session to make sure it's a good fit, make sure I'm a good fit, make sure you're a good fit. So for the emotional cleanup, it's 3 sessions of up to 2 hours, and you might be given some homework to do in between or not. It's actually going to depend on what comes up during the sessions. It's not something I can predict. And the sessions are broken up into 3 parts. So the first session is a detailed intake where I ask you a bunch of questions and we uncover and illuminate any kind of pertinent issues that may not be apparent to you. And so it's a really great learning opportunity for you. And it's also one last chance for you to tell the story of whatever problem you've got at that particular moment, so you never have to rehash it and relive it and keep coming back to it again and again and again. So you can just tell your final story one last time. It will be guided and it'll be awesome. Huge awakenings and aha moments happen during this process. So the second thing is timeline therapy. So we go through the negative emotions of anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, rage, and shame, and limiting decisions that you may have made in your past or about your past. And then the third session is where we remove any other limitations or incongruencies that you do have. We may look at some strategies that you're running, and if the strategies aren't effective, we'll help you change them very quickly. And we tend to do the hypnosis in the third session. For most people, it's great. I've had one person that it hasn't been a good fit for. So depends on the person again. And so whatever it is that you need to get that result that you're looking for, that is what we do. And we wrap it up with a pretty bow in that third session. So you walk away feeling great. You clean out that emotional closet. So in terms of how much it costs, the emotional cleanup is available. It's only $1,500 plus HST, and that's going to be until May 15th. Now, after May 16th, on May 16th, the rates are going to increase to $2,500. And it might sound like a lot of money for something like this. It's actually so a big investment of energy from the practitioner standpoint. And we've also discovered that what you put in is what you get out. So we are invested in you, and we want you to absolutely succeed. And so when you really think about it, it's a very small investment on a daily basis. It's a few dollars a day to be able to move forward and clear that emotional closet out. So it is a great opportunity for you to book your session now and save, because you get to save about $1,000 if you book before May 15th. And you've got to hold the session within a couple months. I know there's a couple people that have asked about maybe purchasing future sessions. So you can purchase up to 2 extra packages at the $1,500 rate between now and the end of the year. So if you wanted to do this process quarterly, then that's an option for you too. So you could actually purchase 3 packages and then get the discounted rate so you can carry it forward to the end of the year. Or if you're gifting it to someone else, that can work that way as well. Okay. So I know it's Mother's Day. Not every mother is going to do this, but I think every mother definitely needs to do this. And you don't have to be a mother to jump on board and really take advantage of this opportunity to clear your emotional closet. it is a perfect complement to so many other personal growth programs you're doing and other work that you're doing on yourself. I know we work with the Thinking into Results program. It is a perfect complement for that. It is a perfect next step after the Unstoppable You workshop. So it really does fall in line with so many different areas of your life, because all you're doing is tapping into the power of your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind, ultimately, as the coach, I teach you and I guide you how to access it under these conditions. And so that's what it's all about, really transforming your life from the inside out, and ultimately bringing a beautiful relationship into your life that you may have overlooked, really enhancing your business, enhancing the relationship you have with your kids, really living your life to its fullest and being open to the opportunities in front of you. So if this sounds like it's something that you're interested in, or even want to find out more about, even if you just want to know, hey, I think I might want it, I don't know, book a conversation with us, because like I said, we can't give you more information without actually talking to you. So book a conversation with us. There is going to be a link in the description here. If my team can put that in, I hope I sent that to you guys earlier, but if a team can put a link in to the description, there's also one in the link in my bio where you can book a call with me to find out if this is a good fit for you. And if you want to gift it to someone else, we can chat about that as well, because I think this is like, honestly, truly the most perfect Mother's Day gift. I know my mother has been asking about this. She's been like, I want to do something like this. So I am not allowed to do this with my mother. Otherwise I would have. And so this is certainly something I think every mother needs to do. It's something that we should all be doing on a regular basis, is clearing the emotions, so that like I said, it's like getting an oil change. If you don't get your oil changed on a regular basis, it will get clogged up, and then other things can start going wrong with the car. We want to keep our emotional closets clean so we can really, truly live the best and most incredible life that we can. So click the link in the description and in the chat. Also DM us, or just put, I want to know more info, if you can't find the link soon enough. So just say, I want to know more info, and I will make sure that my team does reach out to you shortly. So go ahead, book a call now, direct message me, or invite your mother to the call to see if it's something that she might be interested in as well. So bye for now.